Why would a vague scope of work create expensive problems for you as the investor or maybe even the homeowner? And the answer is multifaceted, but let's start with an example. Let's say I do what tons of people do every year. I want to renovate my kitchen. Simple enough, right? I want new countertops. I want new cabinets, maybe a new sink, maybe a new faucet, basic things. It all sounds very simple. Okay, we're going to change out the whole kitchen. Easy. Now, here's the problem. When people start granular, first of all, we'll start with the biggest item in any kitchen, which is generally going to be cabinets. Well, when you get into cabinets, it's like, okay, well, which kind of cabinet do you want? Well, I want XYZ cabinet. Great. There's a number of different styles to cabinets, and even a tiny little detail in a cabinet finish or trim setup can throw the price off up by literally thousands. Or, oh, well, oh, you mean you don't want white or gray? You want blue. Okay, well, that's a little bit more special color. You will literally see how different colors, and there'll be 3 and 4 layers deep of how different colors will impact the cost of these cabinets. And then it's like, oh, well, then you got to trim out the cabinets. Here's a basic example. I'm going to have a refrigerator. Do I want a refrigerator panel? Okay. It's a nice touch. That little nice touch will run you $100 extra. You probably didn't think about that. Most people don't when they come in there, right? Until it's designed. Oh, you want a nice pull that's about 5 inches tall, which is it fits better with your hand than a little simple knob. Oh, well, those are about $5 to $10 each instead of $2.50 each. Oh, and by the way, you have 50 of them in your kitchen. Well, now there's more. Oh, and by the way, there's more work because you have 2 holes to drill in for a simple pull versus that simple little knob that wasn't a problem until we decided we wanted something nicer. Okay. You'll have things like scribe, and then, hey, we don't want the cabinets going to the top of a 10-foot ceiling because I don't want to bring up a step ladder to get to those cabinets. That's fair. So we'll cap them off at 8 feet. Maybe we'll even add a cabinet on the top for 9 feet. Oh, but by the way, there's still space. Well, we don't like that squared off look. No problem. We'll put crown molding up there. Okay, maybe it's a little more modern. Maybe it's a little bit more classic looking. But either way, it's more cuts, more work, more this and that. Right. Oh, and you wanted to move the appliances around because you didn't love the layout. Oh, well, now we got to bring the plumber in. We got to bring the electrician in to move some stuff. Oh, and while we're at it, let's add a microwave drawer because those are really cool, and they are really cool. Oh, that means we need power in the outlet. We might need to open up some sheetrock. Like, and we're just talking about the kitchen, and I could go on and on and on, right, for several minutes talking about all the details in a kitchen. So when you say, I want to upgrade my kitchen, you might be thinking, I have a budget of $10,000, which on the surface sounds very reasonable. Oh, but you looked at those comps and you want it to look like this kind of thing because that's what sounds. Oh, well, by the way, to get that look, that's going to cost you 15 to 20 grand. Okay. In the exact same space because they did all these extra little bling. By the way, bling costs money. Even small bling costs money. And a lot of times bling will take a little more effort to install. I'll give you one example. Cool little feature in kitchens, a pot filler. Very simple. You could buy them off Amazon for under $100. They look great. What's the thing? You got to get water back there, right? And it's over a stove. You don't generally have water lines behind a stove. So the plumber's got to come in there and figure out how to route the line, get it there. Usually means opening up a wall somewhere to some degree. And then you got to sheetrock all that back out and finish it and so on. So at least get it back to a prime state and then, put cabinets in front of it. Right. And then the tile person's going to come along because you're probably going to have a tile backsplash if you have a pop filler. You don't have to, but you probably will more often than not. And then, now the tiler's got to work with that. Right. And then that's a whole thing. So, and this was just one space, the kitchen, because it's the most important space. Now you take this idea and you multiply it to a master bathroom, which is historically considered the second most important space in the house. right? Then you have the additional bathrooms, and you have the living room and the dining room and the breakfast area. Maybe you have an office, maybe you have a bonus room, maybe you have a study, a gym, a media room, a library. Let's put built-ins in the library because it's a library, right? Right? And it goes on and on and on. Okay. And so it's easy to look at a project and I think I can make a house look like this for X, and it all makes perfect sense. But when you really break it down and go from vague to very specific, most of the time you will figure out that your grand idea might be a little more expensive, usually a lot more expensive. Unfortunately, too many people don't figure this out until after they close the deal. And that's where a lot of people, in particular newer investors that get into flipping, get burned because, I mean, the TV shows are cool and all, but they don't really break it down the way you need it broken down, which is usually more than a few item spreadsheet. You need to really break things out to see what it's really going to cost so you can negotiate a better deal, so that you can actually know before you sign the dotted line and take title to a property that the rehab actually has a chance at working. Okay. This is critically important. So make sure your scopes are not vague. Okay. Your contractors will appreciate it. You will appreciate it. Your lenders, if there is one, will appreciate it. Your bank account will appreciate it. You can't lose. The only thing you lose is a little bit extra time in preparation, and that's not lost. That's just called being prepared. So when you prepare your scopes, get detailed. Not sure how to do it? Find someone to help you. Feel free to reach out to me. There's other people out there. Just reach out to somebody. It'll help you understand what does a good detailed scope of work look like so you can ensure your project is going to succeed. Hopefully you found this helpful. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you around.